Hello, it is good to see you back on the mat. Today on Yoga with Paige, we have a nice, fun, progressive back bend flow. We do peak in a little baby wild thing, so make sure you have ample space around you, especially on the sides of your mat. Take your time today in this flow. Make sure that your body feels good. Don't pressure yourself to reach a certain height in any of these back bends or any of these postures. Just take this practice as a time to listen to your body, listen to its signals, and just have fun with it. Whenever you're ready, we begin standing in mountain pose at the top of the mat. Coming into our practice today with some presence. Beginning at the top of the mat. First, feeling our feet, making sure they're hip distance apart. Really grounding down through the earth. Rising up. Activating the legs. Activating the core. Rolling the shoulders slightly down as we send the chest forward, palms face forward. Take a nice deep breath here. Maybe close the eyes. And on your exhale, let everything else go. Take one more breath, coming into the body, coming into the moment. And on your next inhale, take the arms up to shoulder height, palms face up. Keep inhaling, they reach up and palms kiss. On your exhale, send them down, shoulder height with the palms face down. And then the last bit of your exhale, they reach by the sides. So one breath up, halfway, and finish your inhale. Gaze at the hands. Exhale, take it down. A few more rounds like that. Coming into the pace of your own breath. Feeling the shoulders as they open up and awaken. Find one more round. Beautiful. Returning back to our mountain pose. Inhale, reach the arms up, palms meet. And exhale, take the hands over to the right side, finding a slight side bend, spiraling the chest open, not going too far. Remembering that this is a progression flow, we will get deeper. Returning back to center, reset. And exhale, bend to the left. One breath here. Back up to center. This time, grabbing a hold of the left wrist, stepping the left foot behind the right as we side bend to the right. Maybe finding a little bit more of a stretch. Exhale, step back through center, grabbing hold of the other wrist and finding the other side. Back through center, this time releasing the hands to the sides, stepping the feet a little bit more than hip distance apart. Ground down through the feet. Inhale, raise the arms up high. Exhale, let the right hand fall towards the side as the left shoots over. So we let this right hand travel down the leg as we slowly and gently bend over. Stopping wherever your breath seems to harden. We want nice, easy breaths. Hold here, one more breath. Activating the core, drawing the navel into the spine. And exhale, back to center. One breath to reset. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, left hand travels down the leg. Taking care to move gently today. No forcefulness. None of that allowed. And exhale, return back to center, stepping the feet back underneath the hips and reaching the arms up. To cactus them, exhale, bend the elbows, draw the chest forward, really reach it forward, finding a slight teeny little back bend here. Opening through the hands, spreading wide between the fingers. Hold here for a few breaths. Slightly kind of tucking in the tailbone, a slight bend in the knees, really grounding down through the feet. Reaching the scapula together, finding strength in the upper back. And on your next exhale, gently let the fingertips fall to the sides and they come to the knees as we round the back, finding a little standing cat-cow. Moving with your breath, inhale, send the chest forward as the hips come up to the back of the room. Send that booty out. Exhale, round. Making these nice and loving. We want to gently wake up the body, preparing for some bigger postures later. Bringing your awareness back to the breath as you match your own pace. Finding your last round here. Make this one nice and juicy. Then straighten the legs, return back to mountain pose. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, flat back, dive down. And then once you reach shoulder height here, bend the knees and release, folding over the legs, finding a little dangle, whatever feels good to you, maybe grasping the elbows. Letting the head hang, finding space in the spine. You can take a little sway here, kind of work out through the sides. Releasing tension in the neck, letting the head go. And maybe finding some stillness. Releasing tension in the arms, letting them be heavy. Maybe we release the elbows and let the fingertips kind of fall to the mat. Surrendering to this moment. And then inhale, straighten the legs. Let the fingertips creep up towards finding a nice long spine, reaching the crown forward, letting the fingertips float up as high as they need to. Exhale, bend down, bending the knees, coming into a little squat. You can place the fingertips on the mat, let the heels raise up. Inhale, halfway lift, your version. And exhale, squat. Waking up the backs of the legs, feeling the bottoms of the feet. Maybe making this a little bit more fluid. Taking your arms with you. Finding what you need here today. Taking a few more breaths. Spending quality time with yourself at the top of the mat. Remembering to draw the navel into the spine. Working through the back. Finding strength. And taking your last breath in this little flow. Coming up into our halfway lift and gently rolling up very slowly, still tucking the chin. And ending in mountain pose. Ground down through the left foot. Take the right knee up with the hands. And find tree pose. Your version, we can have the foot on the ankle, the shin, or the inner thigh, just not placing it on the knee. Hands come to heart center when you find your balance. Just focusing on opening through the hips, squeezing the glutes, trying to take the knee backwards. A nice visual there. Breathing in, Standing up nice and tall. And exhale, gently release the foot. We can take the hands to the knee. And inhale, reach the knee up into the chest. One big breath. Exhale, release. Switching sides. Finding your tree pose. Carefully making your way there. No need to rush today. We're feeling good. Hands come to heart center. Maybe we feel some connection here. Connection to the earth. Connection to yourself. Or maybe we're just listening to our beautiful breath. Allowing our mind to tune out distractions. Releasing with every exhale. And releasing your tree pose, coming into your standing wind release. Hug the left knee into the chest. And exhale, return back to a nice, comfortable mountain pose. Progressing with our back bends here. Take the hands to the upper back. Step the feet hip width apart. Ground down through the feet. Inhale, lift the chest. Draw the elbows together. And on your next exhale, press the pelvis forward as you gently find a little back bend, using your hands to support your lower back here. Feeling a nice opening in the heart center. Squeezing through the glutes. Using your breath. Maybe dropping the head back. One more breath. Gently returning back to center. Releasing mountain pose. Ground down through the left foot. Hands to hips. And send the right leg out. Squeeze the glutes and tap it back. 5 of these. Opening through the hips. Working through your center of balance. Your stabilizer muscles, especially in the ankle, the feet. Working through some strength in the joints. And then take that right knee up and find some hip circles. We can guide it with the hands if we'd like, or we can kind of let it flow freely on its own. Drawing big circles with the knee. Finding your center of focus, helping you to balance and stabilize. And on your next breath, coming back into our tree pose. This time, reaching the arms up nice and high, interlacing the fingers. Pointer finger releases. Try to draw the shoulders a little bit down, create space. And on your next exhale, slowly bend to the right. Taking your time. Using your control. It's not about how far you bend. It's about your intention here. It's okay if we fall out or we wiggle and wobble around. Finding your last breath and returning back to center, releasing, maybe shake out the legs a little bit. We're getting a nice workout here. And then finding our, I don't even know what you call this, leg lifts. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And taking your version of your knee hip circles. Noticing what you feel right now in your practice. No judgment of any of the answers. Beautiful. Opening through the hip and finding your tree pose whenever you're ready. Moving on your time. Here we go. And reaching the arms up, still squeezing the glutes. Pointer finger extends. And on your next exhale, slowly bend to the left. Working through the abs, stretching the obliques. Beautiful, big breaths. Your body's working hard, I know. Taking all of your concentration to the body and your balance. And exhale slowly back through center. Releasing your tree pose, standing back on your own 2 feet. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, flat back, dive down. This time, bending the right knee, planting the right fingertips, and inhale, peel the left arm up, big twist. Staying here for a few breaths, really allowing yourself to deepen. Sending your awareness to the spine, reaching up with the fingertips, finding length in the arms. On your next exhale, returning back and switching sides, reaching the right arm up skyward. Taking your gaze to the hand. And exhale, back to center, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. We can keep bending the knees if you need to. Remember, don't force anything, just allow yourself to naturally progress. It's what's nice about these kind of flows. You can really feel yourself opening as we move through the same sorts of movements. About 2 more breaths. And then plant the hands in front of the feet. We can take an optional vinyasa here, stepping back through plank, or we can meet in downward facing dog. Drawing the navel in for taking a vinyasa, slowly lowering down. Inhale, untuck the feet, send the chest forward, gripping through the fingers. And exhale, send the hips up, using the core, rolling over the toes. Pedaling out the feet, warming up the backs of the legs, finding nice long spine, reaching the chest down towards the legs, reaching the heels down towards the mat. Find a nice static downward facing dog, really actively pressing into the mat. And reach the right leg up high, 3-legged dog. Bend the knee, bring it nice and slow in through the chest. And plant it in between the hands, releasing the left knee, low lunge. Inhale, lift up, hands come to heart center. Roll the shoulders back and send the hips down and forward. Making sure your knee is not before your ankle. We're here for a few breaths. Maybe untuck the left foot, using that to help you ground down. Coming back to the breath, releasing what no longer serves you. Exhale, release the hands, draw them behind the lower back, interlace the fingers, and use the hands to help you open the chest as they walk down the back leg. Taking a few breaths here, so find what feels good. Still sending the hips forward. Taking your gaze where it feels natural. And gently coming back through neutral spine, release the hands, plant them on either side of the right foot, lift the back knee, coming into a runner's lunge, and taking a vinyasa or meeting in downward facing dog, coming into the other side. Nice and slow. Wherever you are, controlling your movements. Meeting in downward facing dog. Taking one breath to reset. Before the left leg sweeps up, three-legged dog. Bend the knee and bring it in towards the chest. Low lunge. Moving with love today. Exhale, hands to heart center. Maybe you can feel all of that love flowing in and out of your heart right now. As we move the body, releasing endorphins, connecting back to your true essence here. This is who you are. You are not your job title. You are not your family member role. This is you. Take one big deep inhale in through the nose. Really fill the belly with air. And exhale. Let it all go. On your next breath, taking the hands behind the lower back and using them to open the heart. Finding small little back bends throughout, working our way up to Wild Thing here. Beautiful. And whenever you're ready to release, frame the left foot, come into our runner's lunge, and find either vinyasa or meet in downward facing dog. A yogi's choice. Whenever we meet in downward facing dog, we lift the right leg again. This time, bend the knee, bring it in through the chest, and cross it over the body. So we're straightening the leg and sending it over to the left into this little cross. We can turn on the ball of the foot and raise the left arm high for this fallen triangle. Really pressing away from the mat, using all of your muscles, your abdominals, lifting the hips. Only one breath here. And exhale, replace the left hand. Carefully come up onto the ball of the foot. Take this leg back. Still bending the knee, coming into our baby wild thing. So flip over the left leg, plant the ball of the foot, and reach the right arm up. We can stay here in our little baby wild thing, or we can extend and go back. Maybe play with some shapes, but this is always good too. And exhale whenever you're ready. Plant the right hand, twist back, come in through plank to gently lower down onto the belly. Steeple the fingertips on the outer edges of the mat. Untuck the feet. Gaze down in front of you. And inhale, press through the hands to lift the chest. Exhale, forehead meets mat. Working through with your breath through your own pace. Going as fast or as slow as you'd like. Opening up the muscles of the back. Taking big, fresh gulpfuls of air. Finding your last oscillating cobra. And planting the hands under the shoulders, tucking the toes. Use the core to press up through plank. nice and strong, and meet back in downward facing dog. Preparing for the other side. Left leg sweeps up nice and high. It comes in through the chest. And then we twist and extend it out. Finding your footing here before reaching the right arm up. One breath. Exhale. Plant the right hand. Come back and carefully twist and send it over. Coming onto the ball of the foot, raising the left hand high. And returning back, planting the left hand, twisting back onto the balls of the feet, lowering the knees, sending the hips back, child pose. Really reaching out with the fingertips, getting a nice stretch in the spine and the lower back. Inhale, lift the chest. Take the left hand, cross it under the right, find a gentle little twist here. Exhale, return back, and switch sides. Returning back through our child pose. Inhale, roll up onto the back, onto the knees, letting the fingertips float towards the knees as we send the hips up. In this kneeling pose, knees are underneath the hips. Find your groundingness here, find your sense of ground, I guess. And finding a little camel pose or back bend that feels good to you. We can take the hands to the hips like we did when we were standing. Maybe we take a full camel. We can always tuck the toes underneath. Gently send the pelvis forward. And whenever you're ready, reach backwards if you're coming into a full camel. Making sure to listen to yourself. If you don't feel fully warmed up, you can always dial it back. There's always another day, another practice. Feeling the heart expand with love and compassion. Big breaths. And whenever you're ready to gently lift up, untuck the feet, come back through a little thunderbolt pose, sitting back on the heels. Find one breath. And then cross the feet at the ankles to find a little seat. Extending the right leg long, left foot comes to the inner thigh, squaring the hips first. Make sure they're nice and square. Flex those beautiful toes back at your face. And find a gentle forward fold. Beginning to cool down the body. Noticing where your breath is at. Maybe noticing where your mind is at. Inhale, raise back up, come through staff pose to come to the other side. Taking the right foot into the left thigh. Square those hips before finding length and reaching for the foot. Really grounding down through this left leg into the mat. We get more of a stretch when we activate the opposite group of muscles. So for the hamstrings, it's the quads. Squeeze those quads. And you'll probably feel a deeper stretch. Melting down with every exhale. And then raising back up. Coming into bound angle. Maybe scoot to the middle of the mat if you've traveled. Want to make sure we have enough room behind us. Press those feet together. Lift up the chest nice and high. Reach for the big toes if you can. Send the knees down. Pulling the chest forward if you can reach your feet. If not, we can find the ankles or maybe use a strap. Or reach out with the fingertips. Really rooting down with the sit bones. Reaching up with the crown of the head. Keeping a nice extension in the spine. And coming back through neutral spine, taking the knees together and rolling back onto the back. Sending the legs up for happy baby. Reaching again for the feet or the ankles. Letting the knees drop by the sides. This should feel wondrous for the lower back right now. Really use the support of your mat to give yourself a little massage. Finding stillness. Letting the breath anchor you back. And drawing the knees together in front of the chest and gently letting them fall to the left side as our arms open wide for a twist. Maybe gazing over the right shoulder. I'm just traveling all over the place. Finding a gentle little twist. Allowing yourself to melt down. And whenever you're ready, coming back onto the back, sending the feet back up, returning to happy baby one more time. Maybe you want to find some play with this one. You want to rock side to side. Really give that lower back a nice massage. Giving back to the body that does so much for you. And then releasing, coming into your twist on the other side, moving gently. Making any little adjustments so you can really release and let go. And whenever you feel ready, gently come on to the back and extend the legs, reaching the end of our practice, nice little shavasana, letting the arms come by the sides, chucking the shoulder blades underneath, letting the feet open, wiggling the fingers and the toes, and then relax. Let the weight of gravity pull you down towards the earth. Let the belly fill with air as you breathe, nice and full. Taking a quick little body scan, seeing if there's anywhere you are holding residual tension in your muscles. Consciously taking your awareness there and allowing yourself to release. Give yourself permission to let everything go. All of your thoughts, all of your worries. And simply breathe. This is where our practice together comes to a close today. So you can stay here in Shavasana or gently make your way to a seat where I thank you so much for allowing me to guide your movement today. Maybe take one final breath together wherever we are. Sealing in this practice. Until we meet again next time, my friend.